there's just no time to pull in a contractor for every house that you might buy. So you want a quick way to estimate the rehab price, but you want to be accurate as well. You see, the issue is that the other models out there teach you a price per square foot method to find the quick rehab price of a house. But that breaks down really quickly if one thing goes wrong. And that's why I created this app, and you can have it for free. Here's how you use it. Now let's get some first principles. You need to know when to use this app. So there's really 3 different times in a buying process, a flip project, that you're figuring out the budgets and the scope of work. There's the deal analysis. That's when you're trying to decide, should I buy this house or should I not? There's the due diligence. That's when you're starting to hone in your scope of work a little bit more. And then number 3 is the project management. That's where you're actually going to give this scope of work, knowing your budget, to a contractor. This app is for number 1, the deal analysis. This is so you can quickly get a rehab price that you can plug in to figure out what you should pay for that house in the first place. I like to think of it like this. If you were going on like an international vacation, what you would do is you'd be like, oh, okay, well, I know that hotels are going to cost like $200 a night. Food might cost me $100, $200 a day. Entertainment, couple $100 a day. Drinks, priceless. So you intuitively know that those are around the prices. So the real first thing that you're going to do is you're going to figure out what the plane ticket costs, because that's the make or break the vacation type of thing. Is it going to be a few $100 or a few $1,000? And you're going to base your whole decision on that. And that's what this app is, the Fliporithm, as I call it. It's going to give you your plane ticket. Should you buy or should you not? Here's a quick overview. You have your flip type, either cosmetic, renovation, gut, or landlord flip. Made a whole video about the different types of flips that you can go watch. We'll link it up at the end here. So you pick which renovation, and based upon that, it is going to change the prices. I've pre-mapped out each one of the jobs on here. There's 4 banks of jobs. The quick 6, auto ads, replacements, and extras. I'm going to go through what each one of those means, just trying to give you an overview right now. You see, if you drop down, the actual jobs are in there with prices for each one. And you can see that if you change the type of flip, it's going to change the pricing of each one of these. It's going to change the state of each one of these. Okay, it's going to do this automatically for each one of the banks of jobs. Scale of livability. This is in conjunction with the idea of the scale, the index of livability. If you've seen that in any of the other content, you'll know what this means, but that would change based upon the flip type, because it's all based upon the flip type. You see how it changes here. Cosmetic flip, you're moving from barely bankable to the range of comps. With a landlord flip, you're moving from slumlord to barely bankable. Renovation, slumlord to range of comps. Whole video about all this stuff. We don't need to go into it right now. Then you have the advanced. This is where you're going to add a little bit of contingency or the juice. We'll get into that. And then there's the property setup. Now, this is for quick deal analysis. So the only 3 items that you need to put in here is how many square foot, full baths, and half baths. Half bath means there's no shower or tub. Is there more that you need to know? Maybe as you start to progress down the pipeline into due diligence and handing off to the contractor. That's not for this video. Quick 6. Here we go. Quick 6 determines what type of flip you're dealing with. All right, here are the items. Mechanical, meaning HVAC, electrical, plumbing, structural, roofing, and siding and windows. On a cosmetic flip, you're basically doing none of those big items. The house is livable. It's in good enough shape that you don't need to do mechanical, electrical, plumbing. The roof is not leaking. Those structural issues, siding and windows are in good shape. But then you move to a renovation flip, and all of a sudden, some of those issues start to come up. So let's go over some of the things on this calculator. You have obviously the job, and you have to understand that a job lives inside of a project. So a project is the rehab at 123 Main Street. A job is mechanical, HVAC, or electrical, or flooring, LVP, or interior paint. Then you have a unit, which on this calculator is either just a unit price or it is square foot. I was going to break it down further, but I think for this initial phase, that's all you need. And then you have the state. There's basically 3 options on any job. You leave it as is, you repair it, or you replace it. Obviously, if it's as is, it's $0. If it's repair, it's going to be less than a full replacement. For Electrical, let's say, as is would mean it's good to go. Repair would mean that you're going to bring in an electrician to fix a few things. Replacement means you're going to have to rewire that sucker. Next is the severity slider, the severity calculator. On any job, I have these set at the prices that I do the math quickly with, but some are worse than others. Maybe the cabinets in the kitchen right here that I'm going to replace. It's a really big kitchen, so I know that it's going to be a little bit more than the standard, so I might take the severity calculator up just a little bit. Trim and doors. Well, maybe I decide that in this neighborhood, I need to go a cut above. Maybe I need to put in a little bit nicer doors. Maybe I need to put in some solid hardwood doors. Well, I'm going to have to up the price a little bit. That's what it's all about. But maybe it's just the opposite. Cabinets, kitchen's smaller than a normal kitchen, so I take those down a little bit. I know I can get them done a little bit cheaper. Trim and doors, same thing. You get how the severity calculator works. It gives you a little bit of play in there if you want to adjust your pricing. Now, I know how you guys are. Don't get too bogged down with this stuff. Once again, this is just analyzing a deal, not spreadsheet warrioring. Okay, back to the quick six. If you have to replace all of these things, you have a gut flip on your hands. Now, note that if you have to replace those things, you're also going to have to demo right here, the drywall. You're going to have to demo all the stuff in the house, most likely. You're going to have to put on new drywall. So we've added the drywall, and you're going to have to add insulation because I guarantee you if you take the drywall off, the insulation is inadequate. There's grandfathering rules. So usually if something is inadequate, but it's there, it was built right in the first place, they'll allow it to be left. But if you open up the walls and start touching stuff, everything's going to have to be brought up to current codes, which are definitely a lot more demanding than they were 50 years ago or whatever. Also why when you hear somebody say that they don't build them like they used to, well, yeah, no, they build them a lot more now. Alternatively, if I have a cosmetic flip, you see that automatically I have no drywall, no insulation, no demo. One other thing of note here is on a renovation, we do have a repair budget for drywall because there are going to be more holes and things, and I like to put a separate budget, whereas on a cosmetic flip, there might be a little bit of drywall that needs to happen, but it's going to happen as part of the interior paint bid, which is in our auto ads section, which is the next bank here. So these are the auto ads. Basically, every house I ever buy, I automatically add these things. There's always going to be exceptions, and you know now that you can put as is to take them off of a bid, or you can move up or down the severity calculator. Now you can see basically on every flip type, these auto ads are replacements at 100%, except for the landlord flip, which is basically just a safety and liability thing. So on a landlord flip, you're only going to have pricing in the quick six, the safety and liability items. You might add a handyman budget to a landlord flip. But anyway, let's get back to your full renovation. That's the auto ads. I'm always going to put in LVP floors. If I need to do hardwoods, I might up that a little bit, probably a lot of bit. I never put in hardwoods though, so interior paint based on square footage, hardware and fixtures, door handles, door hinges, cabinet poles, cabinet hinges, light fixtures, plumbing fixtures. I want them all to match. If I'm doing black matte, I'm doing it everywhere. If I'm doing stainless steel or brushed nickel, same thing, I think, I'm doing it all throughout. I think that is a huge selling point for anybody, either if they're renting the place or buying the place. It's one of those things that makes a house feel right. It feels put together. I think that adds a lot of value. I do it on every house ever. Landscaping, basic. This is a budget. I put a $500 budget for landscaping, and usually I don't spend more than that. Take the point there. We're not doing hardscaping in these houses. Handyman budget. At the end of every project, I don't care how great of a project manager you are, there's a little bit of a punch list that needs to be done. It's so hard to get guys to come back that finish their job earlier in the project. And so I just always add a little bit of a budget here to clean up the mess. And then an actual construction clean. We hire somebody to come in, make it look nice before we take it to either the rental or sale market. Next are the replacements. This is really what sets the vision for your project. This is what you imagine from HGTV. the pretty stuff, the cabinets, the trim and doors, the countertops, the backsplash, the bathroom vanities, the tile. This is where most people go a little bit too far. I talk a lot about the HGTV dilemma, that you want to look at what the baseline is for your neighborhood. You do construction comps. You look at all the other houses that have sold or went for rent on the market in that neighborhood that are comparable properties, and you say, okay, these had shaker cabinets, or these had off-the-shelf Home Depot cabinets, or it looks like these guys just painted their cabinets. We have quartz countertops, or we have butcher block countertops. Maybe we have Formica countertops. Different levels of finish here. And you don't want to do more than what your neighborhood does, because nobody's buying at that price. That's called speculation. That's gentrification. That's the HGTV dilemma. Everybody tries to overdo things like they were going to live in that house. No, look at what is selling in your neighborhood and only do that. Okay, remember, as is, repair or replace for all of these items. Trim and doors, I always add a little bit of a budget for interior carpentry, around $1,800, even on a cosmetic flip. You see here on a cosmetic flip, most of these are set to repairs or as is. On a renovation, they're all set to replace. Gut flip, they're all going to be replacements. Landlord flip, you're not doing any of that stuff. By default, remember, you can change any of this stuff. Kitchen countertops, need to do quartz. I might have to up the price a little bit. If I'm doing just Formica, I might go down a little bit on the price. Severity calculator here. No option to repair a countertop. That doesn't really work all that well. Same thing with backsplash, as is or replace. Kitchen cabinets, as is or replace. Shower and tub, you can repair a shower tub, you refinish it. And we do that in a lot of cosmetic flips. Vanity, same as kitchen cabinets, you can paint them. And that's what a repair of the cabinets is a paint job, not a replacement. Exterior paint, two options, as is or replace. Usually on a cosmetic, you won't need to do that, but once you get into a full renovation, you'll have to look at doing an exterior paint job. Gutters, you can repair them or replace them. Okay, and then the extras, I'm going to go through this quick. These are things that are one-offs, but they're the most common one-offs that get added to projects. I have them all set at 0 every time because I try my butt off to not have to add these. Framing modification. So if you're trying to add walls, to add a bedroom or change around the layout, I try to avoid that like the plague. You open up that can of worms, new things start to come up. Remember when we talked about the grandfathering rules, where once you expose a wall, then you need to follow the brand new codes. Well, same thing when you start adding new walls. It opens up a lot of cans of worms. You got to bring electrical into there, but once you've touched the electrical there, you've had to touch it somewhere else, and then maybe you need to go fix that. And I hear a lot of people out there say, what are you guys cutting corners out there? No. Like I said, what grandfathering means is that if it was installed in 1975 correctly to code, but now it's 2025 or 2026 and the codes have changed, well, you can grandfather in those old codes. If something is outright dangerous or wrong, obviously you have to fix it. We talk a lot about safety and liability. All right, deck. Repair or replace a deck. You can repair decks. Okay, fence, same thing. Repair or replace. I don't mess around with fences if I don't have to. These are extras. We don't mess with them unless we absolutely have to. They're not the things that sell houses. Garage door, shower door. That's right. I don't add shower doors to my flips. Tree removal, clean outs. Buy a house that's a hoarder's house, you're going to have a clean out. Drainage, this is usually in conjunction with a structural issue. Drainage causes structural issues. If you see my other content, you know I talk about that a lot. Okay, the advanced section. This is an important one. Number one is you should always put a financial contingency on your budgets right from the get. I have it defaulted to 10%. I might even add more for certain projects. All right, this takes the subtotal, $56,600 in this case, and adds 10%. You might do 20. And then one more, the juice percentage here. Biggest reason you need to find your rehab budget quickly is because you're using that to plug in to Flipper math to figure out what you should purchase a house for. So sometimes I want to add a little bit of juice right here to make my construction budget a little bit bigger, ultimately bringing my acquisition price down a little bit so I have a lower anchor to start my negotiations at when I'm going to buy a house. All right, and finally, there's the property setup. Obviously, you put how many square feet are in that house, and it's going to change the prices. Okay, go down to 1,000. we're changing the price. Is it perfect? Nope. Will it get you in the ballpark and help you make good buy decisions? Absolutely. That's exactly what this is for. If you want to know how to figure out the ARV of a house so you can backwards figure out what you should be paying for it, you need to watch my video that comes with a complete after repair value checklist and the frameworks that I use to figure out what I'm going to purchase a house for. Thanks, guys. See you soon.